All right, welcome back to another episode of Talking Nonsense with Brian. And look who we got back today. Old Zimmy's back. Been gone for a few weeks or so. We're visiting your mom on the West Coast, I guess.
I was, and a sister that pushes the hell out of wine. So let me see. Out of 18 days, I drank 16 of them. So I did a quick 2 days of detox running, and I'm ready to roll with you, dude.
All right, well, you can clean that up and get up to 18 for 18 like I do. And, get to the top of your game. But I went into last week, I touched on some funny cruise stories and everything, and nobody knows the cruise better than you. I mean, how many have we been on together? At least 10, 15?
I would say, like last year was 13 even on our friend's cruise.
Yeah.
And then plus all the young professionals, I'm already, and I think you are too, already platinum, where when the captain's party and stuff, we're like the youngest people there. Like, that means we've spent over a half a year of our young lives, yes, I said young, cruising, which mostly is like blue hairs, obviously, but you don't even have hair.
Hey. At least it's not blue.
Pretty sure. Well, it would match your balls.
Right. Well, I know. We can go into dyeing your hair or not. If you actually want to go blue, you can go blue.
Just the sideburns. I'm still good.
I actually did see somebody with like dyed blue sideburns this weekend. Crazy. But I started off, when I was at Covenant House, and it was unlimited beers. Unlimited drinks, $500 or $600 for the entire cruise or something if you had a roommate, and it was wild. Then it started to tamper off as the Covenant House got less and less popular, I guess. And then one year we combined it with we met a group from North Carolina, Paula's group, and how did that go down?
Yeah, so
Cosmo, wasn't it? Really.
That was fantastic. Actually, the first night was Key West. So, it kind of carried the torch in the fact that Young Professionals for Covenant House, it was a nonprofit organization. We were actually drinking for the kids as well, that we should. But we would go on this 4-day cruise, right, from Thursday to Monday, open bar, which is great. One of our buddies hooked up with kind of the master of the North Carolina girls, which was perfect because they were both train wrecks. They actually just ran into each other. Like literally, I think they were stumbling drunk. Ended up just kind of doing a little cruise relationship.
Kind of destiny when they bumped heads.
Yes.
Face planted at the same time.
Although he face planted more kind of on his knees and more frontal, so she enjoyed that. But it was perfect. They hooked up. So I remember years and years. Do you remember... Because Young Professionals would still run the cruise, let's say the first week in September or second week in September, we would have 1 week off and then go back and just kill it again on now, which is coined the Paula Cruise, which year before, obviously last year was canceled. Looking forward to this year for sure, but 13 years in a row. So, times those by several other little kind of naughty cruises. It's been a good time.
Yeah, the worst time was when the Covenant House smarted up and got rid of the unlimited drinks and put it to 15 a day. What was the card called?
So it used to be called the open bar card, which actually it's probably because of our group. They stopped doing that. And then I remember, I think it was like the third cruise. So it wasn't a Covenant House thing. It was actually a Carnival thing because we love Carnival. It's the fun ship with, slides and all the fun stuff that, young, energetic drunks like to screw around on or whatever. But I remember because I would always, when we're taking out of the port of Miami, I would call my mom and dad. And they said, hey, you on the cruise? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm third Manhattan in. I'm good. I'm just letting you know I'm safe. I'm going to be out of contact for a while. And my dad says, hey, you sound kind of depressed. Is there not hot girls on the cruise? I'm like, it's a cruise. There's always hot girls. No, they actually are limiting the cruise to 15 drinks. And my dad says, Frank, I really think that 15 drinks on a 4-day cruise is completely within reason. Like, actually, that makes sense to me. And I'm like, oh, no, Dad. Sorry, that is 15 drinks a day. And I'm bitching about it. And my dad's like, what? Are you kidding me? He's in Chicago, recoiled in horror, as he did with most of my shenanigans. And he said, are you serious? 15 drinks a day? Walk me through this. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's say you wake up in the morning, you kind of do like breakfast or late breakfast, brunch-ish. You obviously hit like a mimosa or two and stuff
Bloody
like that.
Mary.
Like a couple bloodies for sure. Then you go about your day like on the island. And then you come back, you meet, you and everybody else, about 4 or 5. That's pool stuff. So that's 3 or 4 beers in the pool. So now let's say we're up to 6. Then we have happy hour at the pool bar. That's 9. Then you need a traveler, which my dad didn't know was a traveler. You need a traveler. He didn't know what a traveler was to get to my room. But then I also had to have a backup, which is a shower soda. My dad certainly didn't know what a shower soda was. So I'm taking my shower, slamming my beer. Now we're up to 9. Then remember, we would always meet at the casino bar before dinner, right? So now we're at 10. And then we would have to have a traveler from the casino bar to the main dining room. That's 11. Then at
this
dinner,
is about 7:30 at night, so we still got some ticks on the clock left until midnight, and it recycles.
That's 8:15 dining, right? The late one. So already 10 or 11 in. Then dinner, that's 3 or 4
I'm always
drinks.
throwing some glasses of wine in there, or
For
something
sure.
like that at dinner time.
Yeah, a little champagne again.
Yeah.
For sure. So then we'd always meet up at the casino bar again. Like, bam, you're out of 15, and we haven't even been to a nightclub yet. We haven't even gambled yet.
I still got a tie on.
Yeah, yes, you do. You do. It's wrapped around your head like Long Duck Dong and 16 Candles, but for sure.
You love me a long time.
If only they did.
Yeah, so I remember we used to find the weakest link. There's always a couple of girls who just didn't drink a lot. If you can catch on to them early in the cruise and they siphon off your drinks, it was great. But everybody else would catch on to that and be like trying to ask for drinks. And the next thing you know, her card is filled at 9 o'clock or something like that.
Yep, for sure, which is why you turned us on to the Rum Runner kit as far as maybe you can tell them about how to smuggle aboard additional alcohol. We did have we still have a friend named Mike. We might not after this podcast, but I would always just be hitting him up after 10 o'clock. Like, I just come up to him, like, basically just scratching my chest like a crack addict, like, I'll suck your dick for a Bud Light. He only took me up on it a couple times. No, he didn't, thank God, but
you said that Bud Light just never got that taste out of your mouth, did it?
That's why I chase it with Manhattans.
Yeah. Well, you're the king of getting on the boat, and then immediately going Manhattan right off the bat.
Yes, so that's a Lon and I thing from the get-go. Years and years ago, the second you get on the ship, you've got to hightail it to the closest bar and have the biggest alcoholic drink, which is Manhattan. It's 5 shots with a cherry and some ice. And then we would slam it down. So you always have to start the cruise and end the cruise with a Manhattan. Everything else is just, it's just fluff.
The one time I did that with you guys, I'm not a Manhattan drinker. And,
Nobody is. I don't like anybody.
I thought you guys actually enjoyed them. Like, this is fucking horrible. They get you fucked up big time.
Maybe Sam Elliott and Tombstone, that would be the only guy that actually enjoys Manhattans. No, nobody enjoys them. On
the last night, Sunday night, we were all partying and ended up with Manhattans again that night at 3 a.m. We had to be up at 6:30 or 7 to get off the ship, and I thought I was literally going to die. We get in the car, we're driving north, and I'm like, stop, I need a Gatorade. I thought my body was actually going to explode. So as we get on 95 north, heading from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, I'm literally tracking how long it would take to get to each hospital because I thought I was literally going to die, and there's no way I was going to make it. Oh, that was the worst hangover I think I've ever had in my life. It was crazy.
That's why you never want to sober up.
You'd be drunk for like 2 days afterwards. That Monday you get back, you're pretty much still drunk, and then Tuesday you still got a pretty nice buzz in the morning when you wake up.
Yeah.
You're at work, you're like, what the hell's going on?
Not that you would join us, but do you remember I used to put together a Brews Room happy hour?
I went a couple times.
Because, yeah, you did. And then, basically, which is great about, you got so bombed up for so many days, all it takes is, 3 beers, and you're, just back to where you were at 4 in the morning, which is rock star, which is why I would always take off Monday off work and Tuesday.
I think we went that one time. I think the waitress walked by bringing a pitcher to another table. I just got a waft of that and caught a buzz. I was like, woo, we're back in.
Actually, you remember the one time she was bringing, you actually put a straw, and she's like, oh, well, I guess this pitcher is going to be yours now. You're like, all right, make it happen.
One of my funnier memories of the cruise was in the one cruise when you almost didn't get on the cruise. What the hell happened?
So we always had to party the night before the cruise, and then, of course, the day after. So we turn a 4-night alcoholic event into 6 days. So we party hard, and I remember went back to my house for after hours, 4 in the morning, and, of course, all my friends like to play with my guns, stupid, where obviously I keep the guns separate from the bullets. So I put all the guns away, and they were bitching about it. So the guns are locked away, and so I brought bullets out for them to play with. So then we played kind of like dodgeball, where we're whipping hollow points at each other at 3 in the morning before we're supposed to board the ship. This is 3 in the morning on a Thursday. We're supposed to board the ship at 11. So we're playing dodgeball with hollow points and stuff like that. Obviously, nothing's exploding or whatever. So then my buddy Lon, basically he was on the cruise, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to pack in my luggage, which totally makes sense at 4 in the morning. I'm going to pack 50 hollow points, because then when he's hitting on a chick in the nightclub or whatever, I can just randomly whip bullets at him. Well, who knew that cruise ships were like Hitler, airlines and, going into different countries. And then I remember I was 2 Manhattans in. We went on. We had a great time. We're all wearing pimp hats, by the way. I always remember the second suitcase that had disguises, like pimp hat, top hat, condom, beer hat. No, remember the rubber condom hat? It's all crazy hats. Mad Hatter.
Yeah, everybody had
half of them from Key West. So we're all boarding the ship like crazy. Remember, we hit Manhattans immediately. Go out on Lido. We're drinking, having a good time. I'm on Manhattan, I think, number 3. Then I remember they had the tablets. And I'm like, oh, crap, they're looking for somebody. There's somebody bad news. And then I remember they surround me. Yeah, and then you guys start just laughing your ass off. I'm like, oh, crap. They're like, yeah, you can come with us. And I'm like, I pretended I didn't know what was going on. I kind of did. I was only 3 minutes.
He had the big, stupid green pimp hat.
Yes, I did. The green leopard pimp hat.
Every step you take, the front would flop and the back would flop. And it went perfectly with your footsteps.
Yeah, the bell was at least 2 feet. So I remember they're like, hey, can you come with us? I'm like, I have to put my Manhattan down, do I? They're like, well, not yet. So I remember... down the gangway, I was slamming my Manhattan because I knew the second they would escort me off the ship, I knew that they wouldn't let me, let me finish my Manhattan. So I remember they get me off the ship, and I had ATF, anti-terrorism, Miami-Dade. I had 3 different organizations, with the cop cars. You remember, you guys were laughing at me.
We're all the way up on the top deck of the pool, and we're bending over and looking over and watching you walk around 6 or 7 people surrounding, and that stupid pimp hat was flopping the whole way. We were dying laughing.
Yeah. So that was I would like to say the lowest point of my life, but oh my God, I have so many more. But anyway, I remember So yeah, you guys, I just kept on looking up at you jackasses, making fun of me and stuff. I'm like making it. They're like they keep on rescanning like an outside kind of scanner that they set up. So they keep on rescanning my luggage that I had contraband, which I don't smoke pot or anything. I'm like contraband. I thought maybe the rum runner kit, like because I have a gallon of vodka.
Yeah, right.
But like nope. And then they pulled out the hollow points after several. And I remember explaining to them, that hey, basically it was my roommate that actually was jealous because remember Doug wasn't going on that cruise. I'm like, he actually threw that in because he's jealous and blah, blah, blah. That's a story I made up. They believed it. But they're like, it's not up to us. It's up to the captain of the ship. And I'm like, hey, I'm platinum. I'll see him at the captain's party. I was trying to wave to do the platinum thing. But originally he said no, like anybody trying to come out of firearms. I'm like, hey, can you get him on the walkie? Let me talk to him. And he had a million things going on, obviously getting the ship ready for departure and stuff. But God bless him. I'm like, I am I verbally sucked the guy's dick. This is the second thing. Like, shit, I should stop taping right now. But fuck, this is the second. I'm like, oh, I am so sorry. My friend packed my bag. He was just jealous. I promise. I go on these cruises all the time. I'm Carnival's biggest fan. And he did. He actually let me. He made the decision to.
How many hollow point bullets were in your bag?
Only like 15.
Enough for a good killing spree.
Well, I was thinking like I don't know, whip 3 or 4 at lawn per night. He's gonna hit on stupid chicks, so might as well hit him in the head with a couple of hollow points.
Yeah.
But I remember, and even at the captain's party,
didn't they put you in the brig?
Yeah, originally, yeah, before they were ready. Which I'm like. I thought brig was a joke, which is basically a closet. The cot doesn't even have. It's just like basically a long bench. It's like a love seat with absolutely no padding whatsoever. And I'm kind of waiting and stuff like. They did let me.
Were there like jail bar cells in there or anything?
No, it was actually just it was a solid door with like a little 12 by 12 window. They did. I knew they weren't too serious because they did let me bring my Manhattan. Finish my Manhattan, yeah. And then definitely on the gangway. So then, ATF, Miami-Dade, anti-terrorism, they show up and stuff. I get to talk to those guys. So then one of the best parts of that was the guys were pretty cool, and they were kind of laughing about it. And they're like, well, these hollow points, you get to – and I had to sign them off or whatever. Like, you get to choose whether, they're destroyed or whether we use them for practice. And I'm like – is there a place assigned that I want every single one to use on people that are not productive members of society? Like anybody that is anti-police or whatever, I want to use it. And they were kind of laughing. They were cool. But I remember you guys just hooting and hollering the whole time from Lido, like 10 decks up. And I'm so pissed because you guys are drinking, having a good time.
It was getting late in the day and you still hadn't shown up. And we were thinking that you weren't going to make the cruise.
Well, you didn't. I walked on with a bunch of my buddies, so they already knew.
Yeah, I know, but then they took you off. We were walking.
They did, yeah.
We watched that big floppy green hat walking around with all the cops around.
I was explaining myself a lot. Thank God I made it.
Yeah, you did. That was the was that the
no.
So finally you get on the cruise and geez, it's almost about dinner time. By the time you got on the cruise, and I think once you got on, they untied the ropes and pushed us off, and we were out to sea. And the next thing you know, we're probably heading to dinner, so and there's a lot of sketchy, inappropriate stories that happened at dinner.
There was. So, yeah, I got on. I remember we all did a shot, and we did from the window to the wall. There was some awesome pool happy hour, some cannonballs that didn't make families too happy, but everybody wearing pimp hats and outfits. It was great. Yeah, I remember being really drunk in the shower, having a shower soda, and then we're all dressed up. Our suits. You actually looked like professional. You looked very dapper. I'm not used to that.
No, don't get used to it.
No, I won't. Usually you're like Joe Dirt without the cool mullet.
Yeah, no mullet, Joe Dirt.
No, more like Brian Dirt. But.
Yeah, it's just a lot of dirt.
So yeah, let's see. We all show up at dinner, and who was there? We're taking over 5-6 tables of like, I don't know, like 8-10 people. I mean, there's like 50 of us, right? And I do remember they should never seat us next to each other after banging down a dozen beers. Because I remember, first of all, our friend Brittany, basically, she was hungry, but I was hiding the dinner rolls, and then in my suit pants, I kept on putting my dinner rolls in my pants, and she went under the, do you remember this? She went underneath the table and ate the dinner roll out of my crotch while you guys were like watching, just out of my zipper. Like obviously no nudity. It was just kind of clean, cool fun that happens at any kind of 5-star restaurant. And then you were so bombed. I remember this. Like every other word out of you was like the F-bomb. Like you were just on a tangent, which if you remember, there was like that table of 12 people just the side of us and stuff. And they were just glaring. They were glaring. And for once, it was you, not me, thank God. So then just kind of, I was trying to make them laugh. It kind of went the other way. But I remember I rigged my pants to, took my belt off so that they would fall to my ankles. When I stood up, I'm like, Brian, that's enough of the F-bomb of you. And you were just being really naughty. And then they, gave me the, wow, you're Superman. Like, thank you so much for shoving this, like, super bald, super drunk.
Super bald.
Yeah. Well, you shaved really good that day. You were really shiny. You were Kojak.
You were actually waving your finger at me. And stuff.
I was just, like, shaking my finger. You're like, that's enough. You're pissing off families. They're like, oh, thank God. But being that I rigged my suit pants to go down, then all of a sudden my suit pants go down to my ankles. And of course, I'm wearing my tux underwear, which is classy. If you notice.
But you kept like shaking your hands at me like, you're really being this and that. And your pants go down and you keep on shaking it, parading me.
Your pants, things was shaking.
Your pants are around your ankles.
They were so disgusted. I'm like, there is a button on that flap, right? Like, I'm not like going commando. Like, I don't want to, screw up my lobster and ribs. But yeah, I remember they were so pissed. That's the first and last time we ever saw that family of like 15.
Yeah, they never came back on a cruise again.
Not so much. I pretty much blame you.
Yeah. Me? We walk into the casino or one of the little sidebars and they have a bunch of seats and everything around where people hang out right by the hallway. And you're like, oh, this is a good place to get comfortable.
Which is always taking off your pants.
He literally pulled his pants down just to be in his underwear and sit down on the couch and cross his legs like nothing's going on. 100 people are walking by just like staring at him and stuff, and he's got his Manhattan thinking nothing of it. Yeah.
God bless the Manhattans.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was crazy. What other funny things do you remember from?
Gosh, I mean, so many. So obviously after dinner, I definitely remember going to the casino. We'd always hit the casino, sometimes the shows. Getting kind of continuing on the drinks and then hitting the Giselle up, like the weak links of they're only going to, have 8 or 10 drinks. Like, hey, can I grab a drink or two off of you? Which everybody's like, it's almost like a commune at that point. One of the best things about the cruise, which I think is amazing, is bringing like 50 people together. And basically the only rule is that no boyfriends, girlfriends, no like wives, no husbands and stuff like that, and not like some sort of swinger cruise. It's more like just no drama because obviously people that come on the cruise with like, you put copious amounts of alcohol, especially a couple that has kids, they haven't partied in 6 months or whatever. It's just a train wreck. In fact, I can remind you of one of the big train wreck dinners. So you brought 2 ex-girlfriends on the first night, by the way, and this was not the pants night. I would have loved to have cut the mood with my cock, but basically I still remember both girls, and you were stupid enough that you sat in between them, so they were yelling past you.
Oh,
if you remember, it was hilarious.
Didn't we put like broccoli in our teeth or something?
Yeah,
like, hey,
totally.
do I got anything in my teeth?
Yeah. Just to just try to diffuse the mood. Like, they brought security. The girls, if you remember, neither of them had dinner. They didn't get through second appetizers, and they were yelling over you. And I'm like, oh my God, Brian's got two girls fighting over him, which normally I'm used to, like, you take him, you take him, you take him. But no, but two girls that caused such a scene. Security was called, and neither of them had dinner. So remember, we ate their lobster.
Yeah. We were totally killing it. I think Crocker made me a hero that night. He said, you're the only person to make those two girls cry within 5 minutes of each other. And then have them both leave and eat their dinner.
And I was like, two Manhattans, I'm going to see a cat fight.
Oh, yeah. That worked out really well because they put in their order, and then all their food came, and neither one of them was there.
Yeah.
I mean, at the cruise, you eat so much anyways.
Well, you do.
I did. Yeah. I gained 15
No,
pounds.
we all do.
It was great. But it was all good stuff. Like steak and lobster. Oh, let me get another lobster. Oh, those two girls also had lobster?
Yes.
Perfect.
And by the way, the fat one wanted another one.
She probably did.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was wild.
Part of the reason that I'm able to at least like somewhat not gain too much on cruises is like me and Crocker, for instance, we like to throw up. So basically, literally like the binge and purge. I remember
throwing up.
Yeah, it's just a thing. It's like basically anorexics throw up. I wish I was anorexic.
You are not anorexic.
No, not in the. It looked like I ate a couple of anorexics.
Yeah. Jeez.
But I remember one night we were banking down Manhattan. It was I think you had just taken off to bed at like 3 a.m, which Crocker are like, oh, pussy, whatever. Yeah, 3 a.m. We get in Key West at 7 and stuff, and you get up in your defense a lot early and start drinking.
You were always the last one out. Yeah. Sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon you'd roll out.
Totally.
The rest of us are rolling out at 9 a.m. drinking Bloody Marys.
Yeah, I'm still walking into walls at that point. But I remember that one time with Croc, he and I are standing at the casino bar with you, and we look at each other like, I'm really full. I'm like kind of sobering up. And I'm like, me too. And basically Crocker is like, hey, you want to go in the bathroom and throw up real quick? I'm like, yes.
You went together?
Yeah, and that's when you were like, I'm out. So then we actually finished our Manhattans. We launched with a wall separating us at the casino. We launched, chewed a lot of gum, came out, and just ordered Manhattans again. Then we got a super great buzz. And then get this. We actually smelled the best smelling pussy of our entire lives. This is an absolute true story. U.S. Crocker, the best smelling pussy of his entire life. Not all those floozies that he ran through.
Oh,
not his wife. Yeah, certainly not the floozies, especially the one that picked up tile when she tried to put splits on my face for my birthday. But that's a completely different story for a different evening.
Nobody wants to think about that again.
No. Especially me.
Trash can lids on that one.
Whew. But I remember, so I'm at the bar, it's super late, and I start talking to this really hot girl, and then I'm like, hey, and then, of course, just start talking about my dick. Of course, I'm going to. She's like, oh, I want to talk about my pussy. I've got the best smelling pussy ever. I'm like, oh, okay.
Then what happened?
Well, I said, I don't believe you because, I don't know, not a jealous woman, but females lie. Just like an M&M, right? Well, anyway, like, no, you don't. So I bring Croc in, and she says the same thing, that her puss smells like strawberry shortcake. So he and I do not believe her at all. We call her out on it. She's sitting on one of those stationary bar stools at the casino, and she's not wearing any underwear with a short skirt. Beautiful, beautiful girl. And she's like, no, go ahead and smell it. So there Crocker and I are.
Middle of the bar?
On our knees, yep. Absolutely. She parts her like, we're just like kind of in the vicinity, like so, like almost like we've got jeweler's gems. Like I wish I had a monocle checking it out, and then he and I had some whiffs of some awesome stuff, and then holy crap, she was 100% correct that was just the most amazing thing, which would have like transcribed into the most awesome like story, except for her husband, a huge cop, was on the other side of the bar watching all this goes down because apparently they're kind of into that shit. So that just ruined it for a crocodile because I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be the most amazing night with the most amazing strawberry shortcake ever. But US our buddy, you call him right now and he's sleeping like, hey, what's the best smell? He'll just say strawberry shortcake, Carnival Destiny, 2015.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild.